To the NBA courts we're going now. The Brooklyn Nets assignment for the 2021-22 NBA playoffs will be Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics. This was confirmed as they defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers 115-108 to grab the 7th seed in the East. Kyrie Irving led the Nets with 34 points and 12 assists during the midst of his observation of Ramadan, where Muslims refrain from eating and drinking. Here's how the Nets booked their date with the Celtics.
First play-in game of the postseason, the East 7-seeded Nets and Kyrie Irving taking on Darius Garland in the 10-seed Cleveland Cavaliers. 44 wins this season for the Cavs, their most since they reached the NBA Finals 4 years ago. Kevin Durant trying to get his team on to the next round to face Boston. Durant over the double team, nothing to it. 15-9, the Nets have the early lead. Then on the break, Durant for Kyrie Irving, reverse layup, and great defense on the break as well. Durant, he's a 7-footer. Darius Garland, remember that. The rejection on the other end, Patty Mills to the wide open Irving for three. Bounces around and in. It was that kind of half for Irving. Everything going in. Short range jumper here. Part of a 21-6 Nets run. Brooklyn up 40-20 after one quarter. Kevin Love, the long three. 14 points, 13 rebounds off the bench for Love. Durant gets the floater to go. Then Moore with the two big stars. Durant to Irving with the hand in his grill. The corner three, that goes. Then Irving, watch this. Off balance at the buzzer. That goes. 57-43 at the half. One more look at it. Irving, 20 points to go with 4 assists in the first half. Look at that. Teammates trying to cool him off there. Second half, he picked up right where he left off. Irving, three-pointer. By the way, that assist there by Kevin Durant. 33 assists on 45 field goals for Brooklyn. Bruce Brown to Andre Drummond for the dunk. 16 points, 8 rebounds. Irving, another layup. Started the game 11 of 11 from the field. Karis LeVert to Garland for the layup. More Garland. 34 points for him. This one with the sweet bounce. Same place where Irving got his in their first half. That lead cut down to 7. Rajon Rondo, 9 assists off the bench, gets it to Evan Mobley there. He had 19 points. It's down to 6. But so smooth, the veteran, Durant. The jumper from the elbow, more Durant. 25 points, 11 assists. Irving finishing off his night with the dish to Bruce Brown. 34 points, 12 assists for Irving, who is also 12 of 15 shooting from the field. Nets get their 5th win in a row overall, 115-108. So it's Brooklyn moving on to face the 2-seed Boston in the Eastern quarterfinals. Game 1 on Sunday.
Yeah, and here's Kyrie Irving speaking after the matchup.
Man, we're going to speak positivity into this whole entire journey thus far. You know, it's been ups and it's been downs, but we've stayed together. We've remained resilient. We've been through a lot of changes, and we've evolved since the last time we came out of All-Star break. So, you know, it feels good, but we know that the job isn't finished.
Kyrie, on a personal note, you have said that you are fasting for Ramadan, which, for those who are unaware, means no food, no water from sun up to sundown. How do you muster the energy to go out and score 34 points with very little nutrition in your body?
Well, it's a journey with God, and I'm not alone in this. I have brothers and sisters all around the world that are fasting with me. We hold our prayers and our meditations very sacred, and when you come out here, I mean, God's inside me, God's inside you, God's inside all of us, so I'm walking with faith.
Yeah, Kyrie Irving there, still in the playing mode from Tuesday night. Also making their presence felt were the Minnesota Timberwolves, who stopped the LA Clippers 109-104 despite their top man Karl Anthony Towns having one of his worst performances this season. The youngster Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell took on the scoring mantle, while Patrick Beverley anchored the defense to help the T-Wolves set up a playoff date with the Memphis Grizzlies. This marks only the T-Wolves' 2nd playoff appearance since 2004.
Second play-in game on Tuesday. The Clippers at the Timberwolves with the 7th seed in the Western Conference at stake. Minnesota vying for just its 2nd playoff trip in 17 years. Good look at Paul George there, and an even better look here. For him, that is, three-pointer. Clippers looking good early on. Terrence Mann kicks out to Norman Powell. Great dish with the all-alone corner three. Clips up 7 early, 22-15. Anthony Edwards gets going from outside. Lots of good shooting here by both teams. And then Edwards, watch this. Pump fake, works his way in, and the tough layup gets that to go. T-Wolves down by 5. Now, Karl Anthony Towns struggling to get going in this one. Towns misses the 3 badly, and then watch him here underneath. Goes for the rebound, called for the loose ball foul. 4 fouls in the first half. 0 for 7 shooting for Towns. Not a good half for the T-Wolves big man. Patrick Beverley to Malik Beasley for the 3. Then D'Angelo Russell works his way in. The floater plus the foul. He made the free throw. Then Russell from the outside takes advantage of the pick, helping Minnesota to the 53-51 lead at halftime. More T-Wolves second half. Edwards misses, but it's Towns who is there. Big time putback, trying to assert himself. 4 fouls, trying not to get his, well, there it is. Offensive foul, 5th on the night for Towns, and he's got to sit down. Can the Clippers take advantage? Paul George, the drive. Gets that to go off the glass. Then George from the outside. He was 6 of 12 in three-point range. Clippers up by 4. More LA in the fourth quarter. Reggie Jackson, the assist to Terrence Mann for the slam. And then Mann back to Jackson for 3. Clippers building a 10-point lead, under 9 minutes to go. And just maybe, Towns, 6th foul. He fouls out, 11 points, only 3 of 11 shooting, just 5 rebounds for him. But it seemed to spark the T-Wolves. Beasley on the crazy sequence drains the 3 from the corner. 12 points off the bench. Hey, co-owner A-Rod loves it. Russell, 3 of his 29 points. Then Edwards, watch him here. Left all by himself. Takes it in for the big time slam. Minnesota with Towns out of the game. Goes on a 16-2 run to take a 99-95 lead, but the Clippers weren't done. George to Nick Batum in the corner. Clippers, 16 three-pointers on the night. It's a 1-point game. Edwards answers. Step back 3. One of his 5 trays on the night. 30 points for Edwards. And Minnesota up by 4. George, another 3. He had a game-high 34 points. The clip won't go away. But Reggie Jackson here misses the layup. Minnesota still up by 3. And then great defense top of your screen. The former Clipper, Patrick Beverley, stripping the ball from Jackson. T-Wolves hold on, 109-104. They are the 7th seed. They'll travel to Memphis to face the 2 seed in the Western Conference quarterfinals.
Yeah, and let's check out those post-game comments now courtside from Patrick Beverley and Anthony Edwards.
I wanted this one so bad. This is just the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, to play in, to be able to beat them. Another goal scratched off. I told you it was going to the playoffs. Everybody, most of y'all looked at me like I was crazy.
What did you say to your old teammates at the end there when you were standing in front of the bench?
Take that home. Long flight to L.A. Take y'all. You know, it's deeper that for me. You understand? I gave my blood and sweat and tears to that organization. You guys know the story, especially you. Blood, sweat, and tears to just be written off like that. You know, he's injury prone. He's old, this, that. To be able to come here, play them in a play-in, beat them. No.
Okay, joining us now to speak on Tuesday night's play-in games, our NBA analyst Alister Albert. Alister, let me start with that Nets-Cavs game because I didn't watch it. Both games were live on Sportsmax yesterday afternoon or yesterday evening, but I was monitoring the Reggae Girls defeating the Dominican Republic and monitoring TNT battling to a 2-2 draw with Ghana in women's football as well. George and I had a discussion yesterday about that Cavs-Nets game, and he was seeing Cavs as a bit of a threat. I thought it wouldn't be a threat. But 115-108, a little closer than I had bargained for. Is that how you saw it?
I always thought that the Nets would kind of come through and win this game semi easily, I would say. The Cavs not having Jarrett Allen on that lineup and creating a little more difficulty with size and someone who has the mobility like Jarrett Allen to add into that lineup was a little bit of a difficulty for them. The Nets, we know the offensive firepower that these boys have. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are arguably and has been discussed as maybe being the best offensive duos in the league. And, they proved that, it seemed like a little bit of a case of whatever they could do, the Cavs could do, the Nets could just do better and a lot more efficiently. 45 field goals to 33 assists, at like a 73% conversion rates in terms of passing the ball and your teammates hitting the baskets. And, they were just able to outclass the Cavs in that sort of way. I don't think there's anyone who really doubted the Nets would win that matchup. And, they just proved just that. Despite all of the adversity that they went through this season, talent just won out. And the top-heavy talent of the Nets was able to pull them through.
Yeah, Alister, Kyrie and KD combined for 59 points. Do you get the sense that, they can keep up this momentum? Because we all know the playoffs a different kettle of fish.
Yeah, they could keep it up. These are guys who are offensively talented. Each time, the playoffs come around, their numbers increase and everything. But, they're now going against a defensive juggernaut in the Boston Celtics. Of course, Kyrie Irving's former team. There's a little bit of bad blood there and everything. And now it's really a case of duo against duo. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown against Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. And, which team is going to win. But like I mentioned, the defensive prowess of the Boston Celtics, I think will prove a bit difficult for the Nets. But, I think it would actually be a really close matchup between these guys. 7-game series. Of course, Boston doesn't have Robert Williams, which might be a bit of a challenge for them. But I think overall, they have lots of length, lots of energy, and guys who could really get at it on the defensive end. And a lot of people say that the Nets are not really a great defensive team. I would challenge them on that, especially with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. These are guys who step up during the playoffs. Kevin Durant, especially when he was with the Golden State Warriors, he showed that, he could step up his play defensively. Last night, he had 3 blocks. Nick Claxton, could come off the bench and put up 5 blocks as well. Of course, that we don't know if that's going to happen again, but I know I could count on Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving to step up defensively. So this will be a long, drawn-out series, and I'm looking to see who's going to pull through. I kind of give the edge to Boston a little bit, but it could go either way.
Well, that's surprising, giving the edge to Boston, but you'll know what you're thinking when you give them that edge. You spoke highly of Kyrie Irving and KD, and rightfully so. But do you get the sense that, based on the fact that these two gentlemen would know that everything is resting on them to get them across the line, that there'll be some sort of pressure?
There will be some sort of pressure, and I think what we will kind of really look at to see how that pressure manifests is, of course, field goal efficiency, how difficult they make shots for themselves. Kyrie Irving is one to really take difficult shots. He has a Mamba mentality. He's one who wants to get into the zone and try to take, very acrobatic, difficult layups. And he makes them at a very, impressive clip, and, fadeaway jumpers and everything. And one thing to watch, I think, especially with Kyrie Irving being out of the season as much as he has because of the vaccine issue, like we all know is well documented, is how many field goal attempts he will take compared to Kevin Durant. How many shots is he going to take away from Kevin Durant in the clutch moments? We saw a lot of that with Kevin Durant and the Oklahoma City Thunder with Russell Westbrook. He was questioned quite a lot about, why are you shooting so many shots in the fourth quarter when it should be Kevin Durant? Let's see what happens with Kyrie Irving. And that's one of the things, I think, one of the factors that might affect them against the Boston Celtics, and why I give the slight edge as well. I think Kyrie might become a little overzealous, and it might hurt the team overall.
Well, speaking about overzealous, let's move across now to the Timberwolves defeating the Clippers, and I'm talking about Patrick Beverley. That celebration at the end, you would have sworn that he won the NBA championship.
Yeah, boy, that's a boy who was really happy. I even thought he had like some sort of trade contract kicker, just like Drew Holiday a couple of days ago, who just played 8 seconds to get $306,000 added to his contract. I wanted to know what was it, but this is a guy who's come through, who's had a very long NBA journey. Played overseas quite a bit, came into the NBA, and he was known just for his defense. We don't expect, no one confuses Patrick Beverley with Kyrie Irving by any means. He's not going to be a scorer who puts up 20, 30 points a game. But the tenacity and the energy that he brings to that team is going to be very invaluable. And like he said, he gave his blood, sweat, and tears to the Clippers, for the years that he played there. Is very instrumental to their defensive core. And, he felt like he got let down. Steve Ballmer and the ownership decided to think that he was injury prone and old. He couldn't sustain it, and he brought that level of energy to the Timberwolves. And I think he's probably one of the main reasons, along with the coach Chris Finch, who allowed these Timberwolves to be in the position that they are right now in the playoffs. So, he just wanted it. He just wanted to really send a message to the Clippers and be like, this is the revenge game, and I want to be the one who kind of puts you out. And he did that. So excitement, no problem with that, but probably was just a little bit too much.
A little, Alister, that was a lot. He took off his jersey. He was doing the most. I want to juxtapose, though, his performance with Karl Anthony Towns, who had a really poor night, got into foul trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Karl Anthony Towns, it's like we always say, these things could happen to anyone at any given night. This is a guy who's proven himself. He's very productive, puts up, impressive stats, 20 plus points a game, double-digit rebounds. He's known for, his ability to produce and stay in the game as much as possible. But, I think last night he was just caught in a position where he got his hands caught in the cookie jar a bit too often. Referees, were able to call that on him quite a bit. And it's a learning moment for him. He's really lucky this team actually advanced to the seeds, because it would be a very heavy hit for him, and you're supposed to be a leader on this team, and you're allowing that to happen. I think Anthony Edwards is definitely the leader of this team moving forward. I know that's a bit of a bold statement with Kat still being there, but I think the future of the franchise lays in Anthony Edwards' hands, and the team probably needs to start thinking about that in terms of how they structure their team moving forward and everything. But whilst Kat is there, I think he just needs to continue to be the leader that he is, takes the bit of the lighting of a fire that Patrick Beverley brings to that team, because it seems like he needs it. It looks like another Jimmy Butler situation. And, and just produce, be who he is, and, everything will be all right. Just don't overthink it.
Yeah, and in 30 seconds, can you call it Minnesota Timberwolves, Memphis Grizzlies?
Wow, the matchup between Ja Morant and Patrick Beverley is going to be awesome. I think the Grizzlies are going to pull it out, though. They've been the better team throughout the year. And, they just have a lot more grittier guys on that team. It's not just Patrick Beverley on the Wolves. You have Dylan Brooks, Ja Morant, and all the other guys who are known defensively to kind of put their everything into it on that team. So I think the Grizzlies will pull it out.
Well, Alister, thank you so much. Always enjoy your insight. We'll chat again soon.
See you guys soon.
Alister Alberte, our NBA analyst, and he says that he's giving the Celtics the edge over the Nets. We'll go to break.